Here's your heads up to this 5-minute quickie. It's all about, well, the meta title I had was Free Yourself. How did I want to make you feel? Everything is possible. And how was it created by a wonderful man called Wayne Dyer? Wrote a wonderful line in a book. Hey, you got to listen to find out exactly what it is. But you will get something from this. I promise you.
Warning.
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 Warning. You are entering into the unplugged mind of Paul Clough. Too late. Personal Development Unplugged.
Hey, welcome back to, well, the Personal Development Unplugged podcast. And this is a 5-minute quickie, and we'll see how long 5 minutes really takes. Seems I've been away for such a long time, but I know I haven't. Just seems that way, I guess. But today, my underlining and overlining meta type thing for you is to free yourself. It's a big thing to do, free yourself. And how to free yourself, and to start to free yourself. What are you talking about, Cluffy? Well, I'm going to tell you. I read the other day a lovely book by Wayne Dyer, and it's all about you'll see it when you believe it. Yeah, that's right. That's how it is. You'll see it when you believe it, not the other way around. You see, and he had this wonderful sentence, and it really just sparked something off in my mind. It just said, place in your imagination the possibility of all things. I'll repeat that again, just so you allow it just to resonate and just drift inside. Place in your imagination the possibility of all things. And it just suddenly, that did resonate with me, because it's something I thought was, that's so brilliant. It has a wonderful presupposition, doesn't it? If you place in your imagination that possibility of all things, then obviously everything is possible. And I'm stuck for words. Isn't that what will free us when we have this possibility of all things? And starting with it in our imagination. Because I love reading these books, and I know the book is a wonderful book. It doesn't always give you the nitty-gritties. And I wanted to give a few nitty-gritties of what we could do. Because, you see, I want you to start to free yourself. And then if you feel yourself, well, shut up, Cluffy, I'm free. Well, you could always be freer. You could always be 1% freer. And if you do this, and you know this, awesome. But it's a reminder then. But most people don't do this, even if we know it. We know so much. Intellectually, we know so much. But ask yourself, do you actually do all the things that you know? I'm going to stick my hand up and go, absolutely bloody not, Paul. Because I don't. You see, thinking about this, and this is what jumped in my head when I thought, place in your imagination all the possibility of all things. One of my ultimate heroes had to have had this mindset without probably knowing about it. He had to have this mindset to create everything that he did. Disney. Think about it. He must have had so much possibility of all things, because in that day and age, everything he was looking at was in the future. And think of how many people Mr. Disney, good old Walt, has affected in that whole world. Not only by, Disneyland and Mickey Mouse and everything that goes with it, but think of all the films, the books, the metaphors that he's brought. It's astounding, and it makes people just feel good about themselves, but creating different worlds that we can escape into. But looking at it and going, he created this in his mind, because where other people may have had that thought and didn't think it was possible, he had the mindset, the possibility of all things. And he infected so many other people with that mindset. And that's just awesome. What a wonderful positive infection to have. Good old Albert Einstein, in simplicity there's genius, solved his greatest puzzles with his imagination, his visualization. Okay, visualization, you have to be able to imagine things. They go hand in hand, don't they? Or mind in mind. And it's simple, which is good old Albert Einstein. In simplicity, there is genius. But if you just look around, stop where you are right now and look around. Everything that you see, absolutely everything, started in somebody's imagination. Even you started in somebody else's imagination. Wow. So it's possible. Everything is possible. And I believe this so much that I wanted to share with you, this thing that buzzed inside me. 5-minute quickie, we're already 5 minutes in. You see, anything is possible in your imagination. Think about it. When we dream, anything is possible. That's unconscious dreaming. When you imagine things, you can imagine. Think now, jumping over a river, flying. Imagine flying now. You can do it because you see, it's totally possible in your imagination. And they're the real big jumps and leaps. But think about your dreams, your reality. So let's take a little closer look at this wonderful one-liner. Place in your imagination the possibility of all things. And if you did place in your imagination the possibility of all things, what's the worst that could happen? If you actually spent time each day, and I'm going to challenge you to do that later, time each day to imagine things as being totally possible, achievable. What is the worst that could happen if you did that for 5 minutes? Well, the very worst that could happen is you'd think you may have lost 5 minutes, but you'll have explored something. Just to explore the possibility of possibility gets your juices going, doesn't it? Your imagination juices, your imagineering. So you're practicing imagineering, so you can't not get something from this. What's the best that could happen? You could be Walt Disney, or not the Walt Disney, but your own Walt Disney. You could be your own Albert Einstein. You could be anything, because everything is possible, isn't it? You could be the best you could ever imagine. You see, people will argue, do you create your own reality? Well, if you spend time imagineering, and imagineering that there's a possibility of all things, and you start to imagine your dreams, and even bigger dreams, allow them to explode onto the scene. Allow time for intuition, just thoughts, ideas to come to mind. You're going to get to feel like it. Feel what it will be like. And once you start feeling like it, just that feeling is going to be awesome. But the thing is, think about it now. As you get that feeling, the real feeling is you're beginning the process of the adventure of creating it. Because it's not a bloody journey. It becomes an adventure of wonderful proportions. In fact, impossible possible proportions. And that's how I really think that we create our own reality. Walt Disney created a reality for us that we couldn't imagine at the time. But he did it for us, and you can do it for you and everyone else. So maybe just think, what do you dream of? Come on. Be honest with yourself. If you are allowed to dream the things that you really want to have happen in the life for you, and you were to take 2 minutes, 5 minutes a day, to dream it, to let it expand in your imagination, to imagineer it even bigger and better. If you then, in that time, see what it'll look like through your own eyes, hear what you'll hear, smell the smells of that success, taste that success. And when you see it, hear it, smell it and taste it, you really get to feel the whole gambit of it, the whole rainbow. What's that going to be like? And what's it going to do? What's it going to do? Well, if nothing else, it's going to make you feel awesome. It's going to give you a massive amount of motivation because you've placed in your imagination the possibility of all things. So you're now going to start to look for ways of making it possible. Look for those possible ways of creating this. How do you do that? Well, on a biological level, you're going to start the reticulating activating system. It's where your brain starts looking for those things. They're there. You've just didn't direct your mind to look for these things because they're all around you. But you were looking at something else. You had directed your focus on something else. And now you're directing your focus on the things, your new reality, to create your reality. So that's a biological. You can't, that's hardwired and it's proven. If you want to go to the other extreme, the woo-woo lala bit, it doesn't matter which way you go. The law of attraction. The law of attraction says if you can resonate and push out the vibration of the feelings that you want, then the universe will deliver them to you. So I don't give a monkeys whether it's law of attraction or reticulating activating system. I don't care, because either way, it's going to bloody work. So here's my challenge in this 5-minute quickie that's lasted a lot more than 5-minute quickie, and I'm going to come back to this, by the way. I'm going to come back to you, and I want you to really think about it. But here's my challenge. For the next 2 weeks, for only 5 minutes a day, well, 2 times a day. 2 times a day, 5 minutes at a time, find a lovely place to just be. Think of your dreams. Think of what you want to have happen. And then make sure you read this sentence so you place in your imagination the possibility of all things. So just say to yourself, all things are possible. Let me Imagineer. Wish upon a star. Think of Walt Disney. Think of Albert Einstein. Think of anybody, your heroes. They all had this in abundance. Anyone who is your hero and has succeeded, they had to imagine what they wanted first. Do this twice a day, 5 minutes at a time, and record how you feel different now. Record the different behaviors you begin to do. Record that synchronicity that just happens. Those possibilities that just come your way. Those coincidences. Those times when you just seem to be lucky. Record them down in your Jenny journal. So when I come back to this in a couple of weeks' time, we can open up our journals and see what happened. Okay? That's your challenge to you. That's your challenge. That's your challenge to me. That's my, yeah, you can challenge me. Let's do it together. 2 weeks. Come back and let's explore what happened. Okay? This was just a little line by a wonderful man called Wayne Dyer. Unfortunately, he's passed now. But hopefully he's looking down upon us and smiling. Maybe he's just imagining that possibility for us. Anyway, until the next time, I'll speak to you real soon. And in a fortnight, get your journals ready. Okay? Challenge. Twice a day, 5 minutes each time. Think of your dreams. Put into your mind. All things are possible. And if they are, let's Imagineer what I really want to have happen now. Because all things are possible. Okay, have more fun with this than you can stand. And enjoy the outcome. I'll speak to you again real soon. It's Paul Clough, Personal Development Unplugged. Bye-bye now. Whoa. Just before you go, if you would, just bear with me for 1 moment. Well, about a minute. Because I have a very important personal request from old Cluffy here to you. I'd like you to do one very big favour for me. In fact, it's only a little favour, but it'll have a huge effect and certainly affect my gratitude immensely. Will you go to iTunes? And if you're not on iTunes, the player of your choice, but especially iTunes, go to iTunes and complete one of those reviews. You know, the ones with the 5 stars and just a little bit of typing to show people and tell people exactly the thing that you love about this Personal Development Unplugged podcast. Because when you do, it does wonderful things because it will help grow the audience. Okay, you can say, well, that's your ego, Paul, but it isn't. It is a little bit because I love speaking to so many people, but it also means that you are sharing the word and making a difference to those people. So when they read them, they go, oh, I'll have a listen to this. And that makes this podcast a little bit more popular. And if they share it and pay it forward and do the exact same thing, we're going to get noticed as a big community of change makers, because that's who you are, changing yourselves and being the change you want to see in others. And all it takes is that one little 5-star review. Well, it could be 5-star, could be whatever star you think is most applicable to you. If you do that, I would be absolutely awesomely gratitudinal, if that's a word, gratitudinal. So anyway, until the next time, and you'll probably hear this again, but please do a little favour for Cluffy. I'd be most grateful. Until then, or till the next time, bye-bye now.
Warning, you are now leaving the unplugged mind of Paul Clough. It's time to fly on your own. Be brave, my friend.
Personal Development Unplugged.